Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Welcome back to another chapter analysis of 12 Rules for Life by Dr. Jordan Peterson. This is Rule 4 of 12. Hopefully, you're all caught up with the other rules of this book, and if not, I will link them down in the description or click on the cards that pop up somewhere on the top. Perfect. Without further ado, let's dive in. Just a side note before we begin. Now that I've read these chapters a few times, before coming out and actually making a video about it, I start to understand that these rules are not so commonplace as they sound. It seems like a liberally thrown set of rules, but I guess it's really hard to follow, and at least you'd have to be conscious about these things to really implement and reflect on them on a day-to-day basis. The important concepts you need to take away are broken down as sub-chapters in the video. Hope that helps. Concept 1 of this chapter is actually extrapolated from the common adage, the Paretos Principle, commonly referred to as the 80-20 rule. You need to understand this in order for you to follow up with the rest of the discussion. So what is the Paretos Principle, you ask? It says a very small proportion of the people are actually responsible for most groundbreaking revolutions and advancements in the world. This has been mulled over a lot of times and is now accepted. Now, whether you choose to accept it or not, this is applicable across most domains. Remember, the law is spoken of in the context of our discussion. This can be extrapolated across fields and majors, and this is to be interpreted contextually. So, let's circle back to our discussion here. Let's talk numbers for a second. The math says 80% does not contribute as much, or at least the contribution makes little to no impact on whatever it is that they're working on. So, the probability of being on the 80% side is higher. Yes, don't you think? Let's say you and I belong with the masses for the sake of this argument. So, does it mean you and I are useless? Are we to let some universal law dictate what we are or aren't? Now, since there's always going to be someone better than you at doing whatever you're doing, does that mean what you're doing is not worth doing? I don't think that's the way to look at it. And he perfectly coins this and he says, talking yourself to irrelevance is not a profound critique of being. It is a cheap trick of the mind. Basically, he's trying to say, it's an excuse to not improve. Any activity or task that's undertaken has its own set of standards and measurements. The point is to make that delta difference or improvement while trying to do that task. This is the best form of improvement, and I think utmost gratification must be taken while doing so. Too verbose of an explanation? Let me put it simple. Any task, activity, work you undertake is going to have its set of challenges, its set of accomplishments, and n number of people who are actually good or better than you. Compare yourself to the standards you set for yourself. That's the best you can do. He explains these concepts using several examples and psychological jargons. Believe me, half of them went over my head. So I would ask you to read the book to get the true essence of it. But you can make do with this. I'm not saying this is not enough. I'm just saying reading it might give you a better clarity. Now, let's segue into concept 2. The question is, can you negotiate with yourself with respect and kindness? What kind of a question is that? I mean, why would you even ask this? How does all this make sense? Hold on. The art of negotiating is a whole other topic to learn by itself. I get it, but the real ask is, can you negotiate with yourself? Okay, why do you ask? Well, Dr. Peterson says when you ask with kindness and respect, you might just listen. At least better than being a tyrant to yourself. Perfect, this makes sense. The odds are better when you're nicer. Again, perfect, makes sense. So, you could try this and see if it works out for you. Negotiate with yourself to do the harder things, the more important things, only to reward yourself later. Well, who does not like to be rewarded, right? So, if he thinks this might work, it might just work. Have a system in place, negotiate with yourself, and you never know, you might be doing the more important things. With a proper negotiation and reward system in place, one might just be able to get the better of themselves. You never know. So there's another reason why you might want to negotiate with yourself, and this is something I resonated with, and I kind of agree more with this than the other one. But anyways, so you would want to negotiate with yourself just to really understand your desires, your passion, and to really understand the kind of person you are. When you sit down by yourself, think about a couple of things, resonate, you might understand yourself better. Without something to aim for, what exactly are you running behind? And that's an important question to ask. This is something I completely agree with, right? I'm not so sure how many of you sit down and really understand your ambitions, dreams, the required sacrifices for that dream, and so on. But the conversation is important, and without anything to aim for, life is simply boring. You're reduced to minutiae by your mere boredom, and this isn't the same as being part of a rat race. Don't get that wrong. Bringing us to concept 3, to aim and to navigate. Just focus on these 2 points for now. Bear with me. So, you need to have an aim. As discussed earlier, this is important. Without aim, what are you running behind? Right? And to navigate, you need discipline, persistence, and those sort of things, There's a lot of depth involved in the explanation and elaboration of this point alone. But that's it. That's all you need to know. You need to have an aim, and you need to have certain things to navigate. Therefore, you become a tool to build yourself a successful and a content life. This brings us to concept 4. So far, we've accepted that there's going to be someone better than you at doing what you're doing. Okay, get over it, don't sulk. So, the frame of reference should be yourself. That's the only frame that makes sense. Perfect. Now, as one gets older, the idiosyncrasies of a person surges, populated with his or her unique set of problems and situations. So, to compare yourself to that and them is really going to be apples to oranges. Mostly because there are so many variables that contribute to the equation of actual being. Too many variables means that many more possibilities of uniqueness. Don't you think? Do you think this makes sense? Well, so now you know who and what to compare to. Okay, perfect. Now, do you know what exactly to aim and how to navigate towards that vision of yours? That's where negotiation comes into picture. Sit by yourself and have a discussion about where you want to be. Let's just say you want to get from point A to point B. Got it, perfect. What you aim for determines what you see. That's simply how the mind works, period. We automatically start seeking solutions to reach that golden point B. This is not to say every time we aim right and we perceive it right. No, but that's the price you must pay to get to that point B, and that's completely fine. Only acceptable even. At least you're aiming, right? Aiming takes sacrifice. Getting to another point from where you are takes sacrifice. And without that sacrifice, you're pretty much stagnating. This isn't so much to motivate you to move from point A to point B than it is to help you to see that frame of reference. But once you've seen that frame of reference, meaning comparing to yourself, you could navigate to a better point within the frame you set for yourself, within the standards you set for yourself. Are these tools aiding to see clearly? Can you now aim better? Let me know how that works out for you. Well, that's it for this one, folks. Hope this rule makes as much sense to you as it did to me. Leave your thoughts and comments down in the chat. And if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button and subscribe for more of such content. Have a fantastic day ahead. Note, there is a lot more to this chapter than what I've discussed. So much more, believe me. Certain points are omitted, and I did it knowingly for you to just pick up the book and get first-hand essence of certain concepts. So, have a nice day.